Thank you so much for stopping by.
See you.
Good seeing you. Thank
everything.
you.
Yeah.
That,
Appreciate you.
that was a super
Come to
awkward.
Florida. Lap my compound.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good seeing you.
See you in compound.
Yes, absolutely.
Wait,
Well,
have you been to the compound?
no. No, we'll do that.
Dude, if you think the Nürburgring is scary, the compound is Imagine. Bye.
Bye.
Wow. Super thankful and happy that Larry Chen and Adam LZ themselves came by at Vulcan Alpha to congratulate me with the lifetime opportunity, milestone achievement, me competing in a World Time Attack in Australia, representing Hyundai while driving Ioniq 5N, the first EV to enter World Time Attack Challenge. It's getting a bit wet here, so let me get inside and tell you a bit more about it. Okay, I think I owe you a small explanation there. Adam LZ, Larry Chen, Drew Leslie, and a couple of other people are on their Euro trip, so to say. We were together at Ultrace. They're now here at the Nürburgring, so I spent the whole day with them, giving them behind-the-scenes tour, also doing some laps with them, and all of that content you will see on their channels. And actually right now, today is the day that I'm shooting this particular video on 2nd of July at 9 o'clock, so I still need to make that. And the main topic of this video is the announcement that came out this morning that I will be racing in a World Time Attack Challenge representing Hyundai in Ioniq 5N, the very first EV to enter World Time Attack Challenge ever, which will be modified to fit the Club Sprint class regulations. So the seat, cage, fire extinguisher system, a couple of other bits, maybe even some aero. We are, by the way, unveiling our Vulcan Alpha wings tomorrow, so that's going to be quite sick. I mean, the wings are going to be sick, but the fact me racing, this is a major milestone for me, because again, this kind of makes me a works factory driver for a manufacturer, even though maybe like a guest driver, it's a big thing. And more importantly, the fact that I will be racing in Time Attack. And I want to tell you more about it today, why it means so much to me personally. And this is why I'm sitting on a sim on our Novus X motion simulator. We have Assetto Corsa running. We have downloaded very bad representation model of Ioniq 5N because it doesn't even have sound. The handling is very off. I drove it on a Nordschleife before. It was like this model on a Nordschleife version of Assetto Corsa. It was very bad. But we also got the Eastern Creek Sydney Motorsport Park track where World Time Attack Challenge will be happening. And I never driven on that track before. I never driven it also here in the sim, so I'm probably gonna suck. So I just want to have you something in the background running while I'm talking you through to tell you why it is such a special event. This is kind of like a sync snap. So let's go. Why is it so special? The main reason for that is because not many people know, unless you've been following me for more than a decade, my roots in motorsport actually start in Time Attack. So back in 2011, I bought my very first car, which was Subaru GC8. Okay, maybe we should try to drive a bit slower and then talk through. Which is Subaru GC8, and immediately on the same day that I bought it, I purchased a racing car license course, which was on the circuit of Assen in the Netherlands. It was, I think, a 2-day course to get the racing license. The car came with a worn-out brake pad, so I bought a big brake kit for the car, including the suspension. And eventually I decided to build it to a Time Attack car because it's a very accessible series, very easy to drive. You don't need high budget. You're also not competing against other people on the track at the same time. You're competing more against yourself. Of course, at the end of the day, it's who sets the fastest time, but it's very, easy to drive and also open class rules. It's for people know, I would say. And fast forward to 2013, I actually built already, no, it was I think 2012 actually first, and 2012, 2013, I built a 705 horsepower Impreza, 864 Nm of torque it had, On the first race of the Dutch Time Attack Championship, I managed to snatch up the second place because I made a small mistake the lap before the final hot lap, and that kind of caught me off guard, so I was extra cautious. Oh, the driver excuses, even back then, yes. But still, got a second place. Then after that, I went to study abroad, and when I came back, I actually, believe it or not, crashed the car. Ooh, Misha crashes the car, even back then, yes. I crashed the car, only tiny small dent, and I realized, well, maybe if I'm driving like such a high horsepower car, like 700 horsepower Impreza, maybe I need a bit of more practice than just like coming and to drive the car once a year. So anyway, the car got fixed, got rebuilt, and at the time I had a good friend of mine who was a rally driver, who was also a Playboy model, and I decided to give her the car of mine. So she came over to the Netherlands, drove the car, and got the first place instantly, without ever driving the car, without ever driving the track. So it was quite good. And this got noticed by a company in Australia and also by the World Time Attack Challenge. So we got an invite to go to World Time Attack Challenge in 2013 and be like a guest competitor, so to say. Representing Nulon was the brand, the oil brand in Australia. Very big thank you to them for making the trip back then possible. And I tagged along as a social media manager and a good friend of that friend of mine. So that was my first encounter with the World Time Attack Challenge. And me arriving there, if it was 2013, I was 23 at the time, and seeing all those insane cars. The level of competition was just mind-blowing, and like knowing what kind of cars we had at the Dutch Time Attack Championship or even European Time Attack Championship, Australian World Time Attack Challenge was just like something what dreams were made of. Even the type of aero people were building back then, even the name of Andrew Brilliant was already making big circles, and that kind of traces back my fascination with aerodynamics that we have now. Aero is like really this magic, and when it works and when it looks good, and it's also not only functioning but also has a form, it's really good. I'm trying to formulate my thoughts while trying to focus on the track at the same time, so maybe it's not completely great, but it was really a great experience. And you know, for me, who was basically a kid back then, who happened to build a fast car because he had a budget thanks to some inheritance, and also hard working, because sometimes I was working 3 same jobs at the same time, 2 jobs on different jobs on a single day, and on a weekend like a third company I would be working for, and spending all that money on a car, basically, yes. And be there and like, oh my God, this is so fabulous. I couldn't believe just standing there, and I couldn't even dream of competing there one day. So now here I am, 10 years later, 11 years actually, because 2024 and that was 2013, to actually have amassed the following that we have. Also had already done so many milestone events, such as of course the 24 Hours of Nürburgring, many other races, many other great events, and to now be able to compete in the World Time Attack Challenge. For me, this is going back the full circle. For me, it is, I really do not want to, it's in a way bigger than competing in the 24 Hours of Nürburgring, because N24 I already done it the first time in the Dacia in 21. We done it now in the GT4. It's an amazing, unforgettable experience. But when you compare it to when I was a kid, because back then I had this car For many people, it's their dream to come to the Nürburgring, to do a lap, to do a pilgrimage to the Nürburgring. Back then, I was living hour and a half away from the track, and I had a car, and I never cared about some old track in the woods. I never cared about coming here, but Time Attack was everything for me. But then when I moved here, because after a series of events where I trusted the wrong people, lost all my money, also had to sell the car to pay off the debt, the GC8, and then started doing YouTube, and then eventually, well, here we are where we are today. To now be able to experience to the Time Attack, I always had fascination for the sport. I always wanted to go there. I always wanted, I always keep saying like, oh, I'm gonna buy a Honda or something, but now we have the Speedster, which is standing right there. That could be a Time Attack car, but now to be able to do this, it makes the kid inside me, the 23-year-old Misha, who is just getting into motorsport and just like thinking that he can take on the world, and the craziest, loudest cars are the best thing in the world. This makes me this is for me a milestone event in my life. This makes the kid inside me proud. When you ask yourself okay, where do you want to be, when do you want to see yourself in 10 years? If you would have asked me that question 10 years ago, I wouldn't have said to you oh, I want to have 1 million following on YouTube, because I only started doing YouTube 2 years after that. I didn't care about social media. I didn't know you can earn money with social media. I thought it was just something that you do for fun, or I don't know what. 10 years ago, I would have said I would love to drive World Time Attack. And this is really, it's a dream coming true. I think I've been saying lots of nonsense. I hope it's making sense, because I cannot do two things at the same time. That's why most of the time when I'm driving on the Nürburgring, I'm actually not talking. So that's what I wanted to share with you, the story and why it's so special for me. So, more importantly, to the point, again, as mentioned, I'll be driving the Ioniq 5N. I need to do lots of practice on the track because I've never driven it. As you can see, I have no idea where I'm going. I will be getting some coaching as well. So stay tuned for that. We will show separate videos on that, how it's going to be. I'll be there a full week, so the week of the event until I think Monday after the event we will be leaving. We'll be organizing lots of meet and greets together with Hyundai, on the track, off the track, in the paddock, maybe outside of the track as well, so you can come visit us. But most importantly, of course, get your tickets to World Time Attack Challenge, so you can come hang out, see how good or bad I will do it, because again, I never driven the track, and it will require quite some practice. So what I want to know from you, if you made it this far into the video, does this track represent the actual track well enough so I can use it for reference, for some practice when I have time? Let me know. And that's all I had to say. I'm really excited. I'm very grateful for the opportunity. So big thank you to Hyundai and also Ian Baker from World Time Attack Challenge for making this happen. I cannot wait to go there, to have some fun. Maggie will be joining me as well. And I don't know, this corner is supposed to be flat, but like I said, this model of the car is really horrible. So just let's not do that in an actual race. All right, thanks for watching, and see you then. And stay tuned also for tomorrow's big announcement. So thank you very much. See you. Bye.